Very good afternoon to all of you for being here despite the heat wave. Thank you so much for being here. On behalf of our Secretary and Curator Samaridra Kumar Sir, I extend my earnest gratitude to you all. Unfortunately, Sir is not here today with us because of some prior engagements, but he wishes us his best and hopes that the talk be a big success. Our most warm welcome to Swarup Bhattacharya, sir. He is also famously known as the boatman. And we are honored to have you here and are eager to know more about maritime heritage and maritime technologies, something that is lesser known and a subject that may not be explored as a part of World Heritage Day in general. I request our accounts officer, Ma'am Nivedita Chaudhary ji, please felicitate Dr. Sir with a small token of our gratitude. It is my honor to introduce Sir today. After completing his master's degree in anthropology from Calcutta University in 1977, Sir has dedicated his entire research focus to Bengal's boats.
That is 1995.
1995. Sorry.
In 1997, I started that.
You started the research. He focuses on exploring the relationship between man and boats from an anthropological perspective through intensive field based research. Mr. Bhattacharya has worked at Viking Ship Museum in Denmark. He has been a guest research scholar at Center for Maritime Archaeology, Southampton University, UK. He is currently working with Exeter University, United Kingdom on a project called Endangered Material Knowledge Program. He has been a former visiting fellow of Anthropological Survey of India. He has worked as curator of Maulana Azad Museum and as a curatorial assistant at Indian Museum, Kolkata. Sir has also been a project coordinator for Cultural Research Institute and associate coordinator for South Asia Network on Dams, Rivers and People in New Delhi. He is closely associated with establishment of Heritage Boats of Bengal Gallery in Kolkata. I urge you all to please visit. And is engaged in water transport gallery of IIT Kharagpur and Odisha Maritime Museum in Cuttack. So without taking any more time from the time that is allotted to Sir, I call you to begin your talk. Sir, shall I move the keyboard and mouse?
Yes. Thank you so much. It's a great privilege for me. Uh, in outside it is maybe 40 degree, but here it is, I think, 17, 18 or 19 degree. So at least you can feel something. I will show you something which is related with water. So you can swim in that water, yes. Actually, you can look that one. It's a boat. It's a boat of Bengal. Look into the technology, because we do not have seen that technology, I think so. Always we know about boat, but we do not have looked very closely to that boat. That's why we know only few types of boats. That means dunga, shalti, dinghy, panshi. Maybe few others also you may know. But have you heard the name of Merli, Chot, Botali, Hola, Sultani, Pauka, Khodokisti? No, I don't think. But those are the boats. These are the boats of Bengal still plying today. So really we do not know our own heritage, our riverine or maritime heritage. I'd like to show you that technology. Just have a look. They are doing something. They are actually stapling two planks. Those are the staple pins. Those are the double-ended nails. They call it patam or jolui. So they are putting those nails in between two planks. That is, we call it stapling. This is the method of Bengal planking. Nowhere in the world you can find that kind of technology. This is typically the Bengal technology. In other places of the world, the people used to put other types of nails, or they sometimes shew it with the help of a cord. That is called shewn boats, or maybe stitched boat, and other types of. But that kind of metal pins only used in Bengal. So that technology is also, you can find it upstream of the Ganges, up to, if you can go to the Benares, you can find that kind of technology. With that kind of double-ended nail, the entire hull of the boat shaped. Hull means khol, no code khol. That shaped with that type of double-ended nail. In the year 2022, Endangered Material Knowledge Program of UK, the British Museum, they funded a project, and we are fortunate that we documented a boat. That boat name is called Chot. Chot, a typical variety of boat of Rupnarayan River. It's a V-shaped. According to Ponchanan Mondal, our chief boat builder, he said he made that kind of boat, Chot, in that Dehimondol Ghat area last 30 years ago. So that means in between that 30 years, no Chot was made. So that Chot is endangered. So we tried to convince the British Museum that if we can commission a boat and we can document the entire process of boat building, it can be, we can keep that record into the archives, so that in future we can learn about that type of boat. So we make that boat in that region. That is our boat building shed. This is the Rupnarayan River, and that is our place. Bagnan, near Bagnan, Shampur. We know all about the boat, but boat is, you might know that boat is the oldest mode of transport. It develops much before the invention of wheel. And we know that boat connects two lands. So without that boat, human migration was not possible. Today we are migrating from one place to others with the help of that kind of boat. Without boat, our ancestor could not move from one place to other, even to Australia. And this part of the world, it's Bengal, full of rivers. So a kid used to know swimming. He used to learn from his parents or relatives how to tackle a boat. He knows how to row a boat. Boat, we think it is as a mode of conveyance, but boat is more in Bengal. Boat is much more than a vehicle. Here, a boat maker thinks in that way, he is making his own daughter. He is giving birth to his own daughter. After completion of the entire hull, the boat, then he propitiate in that way. And that is the process, they call it marriage giving ceremony. That means after completion of the boat maker used to hand over his daughter to a new family. So boat here is a bride. We know all over the world there are different types of boats, but if you consider the technological aspect of boat building, hull, sometimes the boat builds by putting planks together to shape a hull, khol toiri. And sometimes in other parts of the world, they put the ribs first. That is called frame first technology or skeleton built technology. So two kinds of technology is very common all over the world, but in Bengal, the shell built, that means the khol toiri, is the most predominant here. But we have also another variety. If you look towards the Bay of Bengal, if you go to the Koshafal Mohana of Odisha, you can find that kind of boat building, where the ribs or the frames they put first, then they put the planks on the outer side. Sometimes we have also the intermediate technology. That means sometimes they put the frames, then ribs, then again frames, again the planks, then again. So there are mixture in Bengal also. But if you consider the technology, ribs means when you are putting ribs or the frames, that means you have the preconceived notion of the entire hull, the shape of the hull, what will be the dimension of the midsection, you know. So there is a template. Template means all information are written there, and you are copying it and pasting it. You are putting some ribs which are measured maybe 2 meters, then 1 meter and 9 inches, something like that one. Then you are putting those ribs in serial ways. Then you are putting those the planks. That means they have the template and you are just copy and pasting it. Whereas in shell built, there is no information on any planking system. So it's all oral tradition. So to me, the shell built technology is more primitive and more flexible. That means any boat maker, if he thinks he'd like to add something there, he can add. It's flexible. Always there is a chance of development. There is always a chance of upgradation of boat shape. So our boats are conceived in that way. That means they put the shell first, then they insert those frames. That is intermediate in technology. I'm talking about a boat which we developed which we built in Dihimondol Ghat of Shampur, and it looks like that one, the top one, the boat under sail, and it was published in various newspapers, not only Bengali newspapers but also national newspaper, because that is the first project in India on boat technology. In 2022, that was the first project undertook by EMKP in India on boat technology. So I'm now a little bit discussing on how they build those boats. Before making all planks, they used to cart those one. We know there are various methods, but I think we forgot that there is a mechanism, it's called hand shot, that is typically followed in case of boat building. But before that, what was? We do not know actually. Actually, we do not have any information. Any historical books or any records, they do not mention about how you make planks out of a log. So probably this is the method, by cleaving a log. If you can cleave a log, then you can get the fiber continuous fiber from one end to others. That means it's more in strength. If you cut those fibers, it will be not you cannot get that strength. In earlier days, we used that kind of saw which we call pit saw. After making those planks, then you have to do bend. You have to make bending of every plank. For that, you have to make a device in that way. Before that, you have to put it under fire. After sufficient heating of those planks, then you have to put it into that device and you can bend it. There are other methods of bending, that is that kind of by using pegs. But in case of other boats in Bengal, we have that kind of technology that we call as Mericut. It's also a bending mechanism. After making all those bends, then we have to put the central plank. We call it erection of keel. They're putting that keel in that way. They knows where will be bend, what kind of bend it will be, and what will be its curvature. They knows. They measure it. They put in that way the central plank. Then they put the plank by plank. That is called a jantbari, the clamping mechanism. This is also unique in case of Bengal. Then they put those double-ended nails. Yeah. Before that putting double-ended nails, they used to make slots. In those slots, that double-ended nails used to fit. Those are the staple pins. Yeah. After putting all those nails, it looks like that one. One very important thing is that all planks, in case of Bengal boats, majority of Bengal boats, planks runs parallelly from stem to stern, from back side to front portion. It's unique. That kind of hull planking, we call it hulk, Hulk. That hulk planking was very predominant in Europe, in the medieval Europe, but still we are following that technology. So in medieval time of Europe, they lost that technology, whereas in Bengal, still we are following that. That means our boats are, I say in that way, that is the fossil, that is living heritage we have. For making many planks, they used to cut it in that way and they joined it. These are all very complicated scarf joint. We are making those diagrams, very complicated, but a master carpenter can make it within an hour or two. But I know that many people cannot make it within one day also, because it's so complicated. A master carpenter can do it. It's another kind of joint. It's also complex curve. Very important thing is that always there is no no measuring uh, tape or nothing. Always we think in that way. Your eyes can coordinate with your head and you can execute through your hand. The carpenter here, he's looking, he's, he's measuring the curvature. How? Just keeping one eye closed and he's adjusting, he's estimating. So it means there is no measuring technique. Always the thing that their head can identify the problem and he can solve it with their own brain. Those boat makers, we call them as Shutrodhar. They also say they are the Shutrodhar. Shutro means thread, Shuto. They hold that thread, and that is very important tool for any boat building. So Panchanan Mandal here is using a thread to measure that one. From here to here he is measuring, then again from here to here. That means bilateral symmetry is maintained through that measurement. It's under construction. The chot is under construction. John Cooper is watching. And Panchanan Mandal is finishing that outer skin of the boat. These are called Guro and Bank Kocha. These are the frames, very important parts of a boat, of any boat. For boat making, always they prefer the traditional tools. Here they are using that shuto or shutro to measure the curvature of the plank. In the left side, that is called karan, a kind of divider. They make themselves that karan, and in the right side, that is called boa karan, another divider. After completion of the hull or carpentry, then we also make that sail. There are sail makers still now. Actually, this is the place near Geukhali. Geukhali is a big market for boat tools and anything related with boat you can find in Geukhali Hut. So there are some people, those who are still making those sails. We ordered them and they make those sails made of cotton cloth. After completion of the hull, there is a need to caulk the entire outer body of the hull. They call it gauni. They are the gauni mistri. They are putting cottons on the outer side of the hull to make it waterproof. It is a V-shaped boat. It can cut the water, and that's why it can go deep into the sea. And people say that is the king of the sea. That boat type is the king of the sea. And after completion of the boat, that was the trial run, and villagers enjoyed that trial run. They are the boat makers. Let's look in the left side, our head carpenter, Amol Mondal, then Panchanan Mondal, the father of head carpenter, and then Moni Mohan, Dilip, and Deepak. They are from a same family. But out of them, Amol, the first one, he he he's the Amol. Amol is the chief carpenter, chief boat builder, and he's only making boat. Yeah. Panchanan Mondal is now almost 70 years old. He's not been able to do the boat building. So now he's doing as a labor in different fields. Then Moni Mohan, he's an electrician, but occasionally also do boat making. Then Dilip. Dilip is a whole timer of boat making, related with boat making. Deepak is sometimes he do boat making, but in majority of the time he is involved with brick field. So in a family of a boat making family, 3 of them are still with boat and 2 of them are not related with boat. And now we are we are processing our field data, and we are making various drawings and informations. All those informations, digitized information, will be kept in the British Museum archive. So anybody can go and can find it there. It's an open access. And that boat, the original boat, will be kept in the National Maritime Museum, which is under construction in Lothal, Gujarat. We are making those drawings, yeah. Now, last maybe 20-30 minutes, I'm talking about the boats which we have made. But now I'd like to show you what was our boats. Actually, that is the boat. You can look at, this is the National Geographic photo of mid-1990s. On that time, the river was full of waters, and with different types of boats, with different types of sails. That is very important. Unfortunately, in the mid-1990s, instead of sail, we put engines, diesel engines. So all that tradition we have lost. You will not find that kind of sail now. In mid-1990s, that kind of sail was very common in Bangladesh. Even this part of Bengal, it was also common. But that type of sail is related with that is Bhattacharya. So that means if you can put that sail, you don't have to walk. You can sing. And that is with that rhythm. If we remove that sail, if we enter an engine, if we put an engine, and it can make that kind of noise, wood, 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 you cannot sing that song. So it means if the sail is no more, then Bhattacharya is also no more. So we will lose that one.
আমার বাড়ি যাইও দৌড়া বসতে দিব মোরা
Another kind of song related with boat, Sharigan. It's related with the boat race of Bengal. We know that boat building, we know that in this part of the world, in Bengal, mainly in Southeast Asia. That is very, it's a very common tradition, Nauka Baich or boat race. We know all about the Kerala boat race, but definitely I know that very few people know the boat race is very common in also this part of Bengal also. In Murshidabad, Nodia, Sundarban, we do that boat race. We call it Nauka Baich. In Bangladesh, it is very popular. In Cambodia, in Vietnam, in China, it is also very common. We have that song related with that rhythm of the paddle, very rhythmic, that shari song. So we have that tradition, but very in not in full-fledged. Oh, that one. It is, I have taken that photograph in the year 1997 in Sundarban. That is the boat race. What I am talking about, that we know various boat types, we know at present, but do we have any information on our 1,000 years ago, what kind of boat was there? Really, we do not have. Unfortunately, there is no information on our ships or boats. It is from the medieval temple terracotta. That means maybe 500 years ago, that kind of boat was there. But really, I am not convinced with that kind of relief work, because to me, those who build those art objects, they might do not know about the real boat types. That's why always a fictitious boat with some head they are putting. Instead of its technology, it is missing there. I will tell you later. Very important one documents we have. It's from the 11th century ship relief work, three-dimensional work. It's from Bhubaneswar, and now it is with the Indian Museum. That only boat structure can gives you an understanding of 1,000 years old technology. I can tell you later. Now, if you look into our Bengal, that kind of boat is still very common. We call it dugout, তালের ডোঙা, একটা তাল গাছকে স্কুপ করে বানানো হয় এই ডোঙা. That is the dugout, most primitive way of boat, most primitive type of watercraft. Another boat type, we call it dunga. This is the dunga of Subarnarekha River. Shalti of Koranjali in South Chobbish Pargona, maybe 2 or 3 still left. Paukia of Egra. In the left hand side, the Paukia of Egra and the Paukia of Digha region. Still there are very common. Panshi of Kolkata. Khorokiste. We lost that tradition. Sultani with sail, we lost that tradition. Dholai of Sundarban, there are still. Balitolar Noko, Bolagor, still very common. Jelebachari of Kolkata, very common. Malobachari of Sundarban, very common. Chand Noko, Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh, very common. Patam Noko, Sundarban, Bangladesh, very common. Sultani, bigger Sultani, nowadays very common. Balitolar Noko, Bolagor, very common. Patia of Bay of Bengal. You can find that boat in Digha region, in Udaipur, in Chandoneshwar area, in Talshari region. Unique because its bottom portion is like that of the relief work. After that, we are put that 4 or 5 planks above. That means up to 11th century, that was the customary practice to build that shape of the boat. So after 11th century, we are able to put another 4 planks. That means in last 800 years, we were been able to put 4 planks only. That means one plank needs 200 years to fit. That means it's a trial and error, trial and error. If you managed, if it goes to the sea and it can act well, then it will replicate. That is our system. That is the trial and error. Still in Bolaga, that kind of dinghy is very common. Still they are building those one. Dinghy, the word is from our Shantal Munda family. That is the Austric group of people. Their term, dinghy. Britishers have taken that name and they designate any kind of short, small boat as dinghy, D-I-N-G-H-Y. So in the Titanic, there were small lifeboats. They call it dinghy. Not only in Europe, but also in America, that dinghy word is very common. So a boat name called dinghy, that is our boat. It's all over the world. Trawler. We call it trawler, but it is not trawler. They do not use trawl net. As because it looks like a foreign something, that's why we call it trawler. Very interesting. If you go really into the deep into that boat structure, it's typically our boat with traditional design, traditional technology. As because the shape of the boat is not familiar with our eyes, that's why we call it trawler. It's not, they are not using the trawl net. They are using the traditional way of fishing. And they are the boat makers. Who are those boat makers? They are from the lower strata of our society. I have not found any Brahmin, those who are making boat making. So these are the people, they call themselves as Shutrudhar, or sometimes they are the domes, they are sometimes Nomoshudros. All they are belongs to the lower strata of the society. And they follow the Guru Shishya Parampara. That means if you are interested, you can come to me. If I am a master carpenter, master boat builder, I can teach you how to build a boat. After few years, when you are getting your experience, you will become a chief carpenter or chief boat builder. Always we call them as mistri. Mistri is the term, a Portuguese term. Mestar. Mestar means master. So still we use that name as Jotin Mistri, Panchanon Mistri, instead of Jotin Mondal, Panchanon Shutrudhar. So still they are continuing that tradition that is called Guru Shishya Parampara, and they are making their shishos, their students, chhatra toiri kore. এইভাবেই, that is the way our knowledge of we gathered knowledge and we transmit it to the next generation. Still it is going on. And if there is no, we know that there is no template. So always they keep it in their brain and they execute it through their hand. And their eyes plays a very important role for shaping a boat. They are the boat makers. They call also themselves as Vishwakarmas. They are the creator. That is the boat. They call it maybe Muyurpankhi Nava. Definitely not. It is not the Muyurpankhi Nava. Moirpongkinonko means peacock-headed bird. But to them, I think it is their Moirpongki boat. That is the lifeboat. Because without that boat, he cannot survive. Still our tradition is going on, but I do not know. A boatmaker has told me that as long as water is there, boat will be there. You cannot fish without any boat. Thank you so much.
If you all have any questions, please, we can have a nice discussion. Yes,
Thank you. That was fascinating. I missed your Art and Life exhibition that happened about a month or a month and a half back. So can you tell us, if we've missed those, where can we see or access the exhibits that you had there? Because I got great feedback about the way you curated it with Shubhajit Sengupta, I think. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I have kept some boat models like that one in that Arts for Life. Yeah. Many boats are with me at present in my house, so if you would like to visit, you can come and I can arrange. Otherwise, you can go to Cultural Research Institute. There is a museum called, it's a gallery, Heritage Boats of Bengal Gallery in Kakurgachi. That is the Backward Classes Welfare Department, Government of West Bengal. They built that museum. There are 46 boat models. If you'd like to see, you can go there, or otherwise you can go to the Kharagpur IIT, you can find 26 varieties, yeah.
So tell me something about the cargo boats with sail. I mean, the type of cargo that they carried, and from place where to where, and what was the return cargo that they were bringing. I would be interested in that.
Yeah, each and every boat is built on the basis of that purpose. What kind of item it will carry, on that basis, they build those boats. So a boat which carry the straw, that one, is used to move from Geukhali region to Sundarban. Then from Sundarban, they load all those straws and it unloads in Kolkata, nearby Kolkata. So that is the route, and it takes 2.5 months to complete a trip. So it's a huge amount of straw. I mentioned you earlier that straw boat is, they call it as opor loder noko. That means they piled those cargoes on top of the deck. But there are many items which they can also put inside the deck. That means the Sultani, Panshi, Bhor, all those boats, they used to, they can keep those cargoes, those materials inside their deck. We know one important boat was there in Kolkata. We call it Bhor. That Bhor was used to carry all heavy loaded items from Calcutta port to various parts of Kolkata. We call it Bhor. Another boat was Panshi, that used to carry salt in earlier days. There is also still, if you go to the Posta region, there are few boats which they call themselves as Mohajoni. Those Mohajoni boats used to carry all sorts of items from Posta to Sheurafuli in north, and also to Uluberia, 58 gate. That is their area of operation. Again, if you look, if you know that Adiganga, the Chetla region, I know there was a place where boats with paddy used to come from Borishal. That boat is called Balam Noko. That was only used for that kind of chal. Actually, that Balam Noko, the name of the boat is Balam Noko. And that paddy which is to carry from Borishal to here, that became as Balam Chal because of that name of the boat. It's very important. Again, we have the Shalti. Shalti, it used to traverse in Joynagor, Mojilpur area, and Koronjoli, Kagdip. On that region, there are various creeks. There were maybe 13 meters long Shalti used to carry all kinds of commodity from one place to other. Nowadays, only one or two still left. So there are different types of boats used for different commodities.
Have you observed since these are pinned, the boats are planks are being pinned? Is there a evolution of the metallurgical processes of pinning?
Yeah.
Because certainly somebody is doing that pins.
Yeah.
Was there any evolution of that technology there?
Actually, we do not know when that developed, that double-ended nail developed here in Bengal. There is no records actually. There is no records, absolutely no records. But if you closely look into the Ajanta cave painting and some other places, there you will find that a kind of double-ended nail structure was there. So I think that was not the iron double-ended nail. Earlier days, maybe we used to stitch those planks in that way. Stitching, it's a method of stitching. Then after, instead of those square, they are putting those nails, maybe in the later phase. Still, we do not have any records, so I cannot say what is the evolution of stable pin. Or nowhere in the world you can find that kind of double-ended nail. Only in Bengal still exist.
And any idea of the boats that was used nearly thousands of years back
Yeah.
for migration of people from Bengal region, entire Bengal region,
Yeah.
to Southeast Asia?
Yes. Yeah, we do not have any records. Yeah. But you know that people of Mahanadi Delta, they call it Bali Jatra. Yeah. That is the festival of Kartik Purnima. They used to ply those small boats as a symbol. But they call it Boita Bandana actually, not Bali Jatra. But what kind of boat, we do not have any records. But I have shown you that. I can show you again. Look into the front portion of that boat. Probably a hathi, elephant.
Yeah.
So elephant used to carry with that boat. So it's a huge, huge boat. So at least in 11th century, that kind of boat was there. And still we have that boat, the Patia. That one. So still exists, I think. There are some information. There are some. Actually, you can reconstruct our maritime history in that way. I think this is the living fossil by which you can go back 1,000 years old. Not more than that, because we do not have any information. We do not have any underwater archaeology wing in India. We do not have any excavation on underwater. So actually,
I work in a book, but I just write the preface of the book. I'm
time there is a পালতোলা নৌকো যেটাকে বলে হ্যাঁ
sailing boats, yeah.
sailing that start from Gujarat, and there was a direct channel and direct go to in Mexico. They shelter from they start from Gujarat, and their destination was Mexico, and there that time naki there was a channel in sea, direct channel
হ্যাঁ
was from
না বুঝতে পেরেছি, কিন্তু সমুদ্রে তো কোনো চ্যানেল হয় না, সমুদ্রে
হাওয়া বা
যেতে
কিছু
গেলে
একটা, কোনো একটা
হাওয়াকেই ব্যবহার করতে
হ্যাঁ,
হবে,
হাওয়া,
কেননা একটা দাঁড়
হ্যাঁ।
টেনে 1 ঘন্টা 2 ঘন্টা যাওয়া
না, ওই
যেতে
হাওয়াটা
পারে।
যাকে একটা
হ্যাঁ,
রাস্তার মতো তৈরি
সুতরাং এই সমস্ত পৃথিবীর সমস্ত জায়গাতেই হাওয়াকে কাজে লাগিয়ে পালকে ব্যবহার করে এক জায়গা থেকে আরেক জায়গা
গুজরাট
গেছিল।
থেকে শুরু করতে গিয়ে সোজা মেক্সিকো উঠে
হ্যাঁ, সে যাওয়াই যায়,
কারণটা বলি।
Wind was known as trade wind.
অবভিয়াসলি, একদমই ট্রেড উইন্ডকেই ইউটিলাইজ করে এই এত বড় একটা ডিস্টেন্স কভার করা সম্ভব। সেটা থর হায়ারদ্যালও দেখিয়েছিলেন, কন্টিকি এক্সপিডিশনে বুঝিয়েছিলেন যে
আরেক জায়গায় পড়েছিলাম, since you mentioned about it, that when Vasco da Gama was coming to India, he was somewhere near South Africa, and that is the time he was finding out ways how to come to India. And then he met some people, and they said that you go across over there to the next harbor, kind of a thing, and you meet these people, Indian people, who will guide you.
ইয়া
And when he came across over there, what he saw was literally 10 times bigger than what Vasco da Gama was on.
ইয়া
And then that gentleman, he was from Gujarat, he brought him along all the way and left him near Calicut, and then went across to Gujarat or way up, whereby he found, landed up in Goa.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was the story. I do not know how true it is, but we did have the capacity, the knowledge, the technical know-how of building wooden boats.
অবভিয়াসলি
And some of these wooden boats which Royal Navy had, they've been depicted in so many places, but never mentioned where built.
ইয়েস
Where built.
Yeah.
Because all these boats were, the Royal Navy wooden boats were built in India,
Yes.
which they did not want to
Yeah.
certify and say where built.
ইয়া
Thank you.
Yes, actually there is a book, it's a British underwater archaeology blue book they called, and there is mentioned that when the Britishers came here in India, they found the boats or ships are much bigger than their boats. So it's very common because we have that river, we have that sea. So if we, obviously that technology we know, it is common. I do not know, I cannot tell you that why we lost that tradition, how we lost that tradition, but definitely there are some causes. I think Britishers, if you'd like to survive, you have to stop others. Yeah,
Obviously, very, very right.
yes.
So I have a question. Thank you for a very insightful lecture. So you mentioned that there's no physical record of the traditions kept by the boat keepers, makers. My question is with regards to the development in materials. Technology kept aside, have there been any advancements in their accepting of modern material in the boat making traditions which have been proven in their practice?
Yeah, actually, this part of the world, the Bengal mainly, they are still very orthodox. And I told you that boat is not a boat. It's always something related with flesh. That means when you are putting a central plank, you are propitiating something. And if you make it with other material, you cannot do that one. That's why still in Bengal, they are very orthodox and still they are continuing with wooden boat building technique. Whereas in Odisha and Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, you will not find that kind because they are already shifted to fiberglass boats. But in Bengal, you will hardly find any fiberglass boats. Still, they are very much continuing their own tradition. But earlier days, we used to build boats with the help of shal and teak. Shal, you know, Sharia robusta, and Tectona grandis is the teak. But nowadays, a boat maker, a fisherman cannot afford to build a boat with shal or shegun. So instead of that one, they are using the local variety. It cannot last long. Maybe it can last for 5 years, not more than that. But still, they are continuing with that boat.
Thank you.
Obviously, বজরা অবশ্যই বোট।
হ্যাঁ, একটু বজরা সম্পর্কে যদি একটু বলেন।
হ্যাঁ, আসলে বজরা তো বোট, কিন্তু রবীন্দ্রনাথ ব্যবহার করতেন না এটা? হ্যাঁ, রবীন্দ্রনাথ একটা বজরা ব্যবহার করতেন,
পদ্মা বোট, যেটা
পদ্মা
ফেমাস।
বোট। কিন্তু রবীন্দ্রনাথ বজরা নিজের পদ্মা বোটকে কোনোদিন বজরা বলেননি।
না না, একদম না।
কি বলেছেন?
উনি পদ্মা বোটই বলেছেন।
হ্যাঁ, অদ্ভুত। উনি বলছেন বোট, নৌকো নয় বোট। বোট শব্দটা ইংলিশ শব্দ। সুতরাং ভাবার সময় হয়েছে একজন বাংলা লিখিয়ে, যার এই রকম লেভেলে বাংলা লেখা, সে তার নিজের নৌকোটাকে নৌকো না বলে কেন বোট বলছেন? ভাবার বিষয়। আসলে বজরা একটা টাইপ অফ বোট, যেখানে একটা ঘর থাকবে, একটা না অনেকগুলো ঘর থাকতে পারে। সেই ঘরগুলো একটু পাকাপোক্ত সুন্দর, যেখানে অনেক দিন ধরে থাকা যায়। দেবী চৌধুরানী যেভাবে অনেকগুলো প্রকোষ্ঠওয়ালা, 5টা প্রকোষ্ঠ ছিল তার, মানে 5টা ঘর ছিল দেবী চৌধুরানীর নৌকোয়। কিন্তু রবীন্দ্রনাথের বজরায় সম্ভবত 3খানা ঘর ছিল। তাই এই রকম বজরা আমরা পরবর্তীতে দেখেছি। মগনলাল মেঘরাজ যে নৌকোটায় ছিলেন সেটাও হয়তো বজরা, কিন্তু বাংলা থেকে সেই বজরার চলটা হারিয়ে গেছে। এখন শুধুমাত্র বেনারসে হয়তো আছে।
ওটা মানে মুর্শিদাবাদ অঞ্চলই তো বজরার জন্য বিখ্যাত।
জানা যায় না। আসলে রবীন্দ্রনাথের বজরা কে বানিয়েছিল জানেন? ঢাকার মিস্ত্রি। দ্বারকানাথ বানিয়েছিলেন ঢাকার মিস্ত্রি দিয়ে। সুতরাং একটা বজরা তাহলে ঢাকার লোকরা এক্সপার্ট ছিল, আর কে কোথায় বজরা বানাতো তেমনভাবে হয় না। অবশ্য হতেই পারে, মুর্শিদাবাদ নবাবের জায়গা, অনেক পয়সাওয়ালা লোকের জায়গা, সুতরাং তাদের কাছে ময়ূরপঙ্খী বজরা ছিল অনেকগুলো, আমি দেখেছি। সুতরাং ওখানেও হতেও পারে যে ওখানেই বানানো হতো, কিন্তু সত্যি কোথায় বানা। আচ্ছা, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, রাজার জমিদারদের বজরা থাকবে এটাই স্বাভাবিক, এবং সেটা মুর্শিদাবাদে বানানোর কারিগর ছিল সেই সময়, হতেই পারে। উই ডু নট হ্যাভ এনি রেকর্ডস। বজরা ইটস এ হাউস বোট, যেটা ডাল লেকে আপনি দেখতে পান, ওটা স্ট্যাগনেন্ট, ওটা অ্যাঙ্কার্ড করা আছে, কিন্তু উঠে আপনি একটু জলের একটা ফিলিং পাবেন, একটু দুলছে। আর এই বজরাটা হচ্ছে একটা প্লেজার বোট, যেটা করে আপনি মুভ করতে পারবেন। সেটাই করে আমি জানি যে এখান থেকে, কলকাতা থেকে দ্বারকানাথ বেনারসে গেছিলেন বজরায় করে।
রবীন্দ্রনাথের যে বজরাটার কথা বলছেন, ওটা তো মানে উনি ব্যবহারই করতেন, যেহেতু উনি বাংলাদেশের ওই পুরো জায়গাটা জমিদারি পর্যবেক্ষণ করতেন। শিলাইদহ, সাজাদপুর, পাতিশর, কালীগ্রাম যে অঞ্চলগুলো উনি পর্যবেক্ষণ করতেন, সেটা।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, একদমই তাই।
মানে অনেকদিন থাকতে হতো বলেই উনি বজরাটা ব্যবহার করতেন, পদ্মা বোট।
হ্যাঁ,
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আপনি মেরিটাইম রিসার্চ করছেন ইন্ডিয়াতে, আপনি জানেন হিস্টোরিক্যালি ইন্ডিয়াতে আইস ইম্পোর্ট করা হতো।
দ্বারকানাথের জাহাজ সেইটাই করতো। হ্যাঁ,
সেই আইস ইম্পোর্ট করার সময় ইলিয়নে থেকে যখন আইস আসতো, আপনি যেহেতু এটা রিসার্চ করছেন ডিপলি, আপনি কি আইস ইম্পোর্টের মেকানিজম উইদিন দ্য বোট সেইভাবে কিছু দেখেছেন?
হ্যাঁ, না আমি তো,
আইস হাউস ইন কলকাতা।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, না না, সেটাই আমায় ফিরে যাওয়া খুব দুষ্কর ব্যাপার, কারণ 100 বছর আমায় পিছিয়ে যেতে হবে, 100-150 বছর, সেটা করা সম্ভব নয়। কিন্তু আপনি যদি দেখেন, যদি কাকদ্বীপে যান, যে ট্রলারগুলো আজ সমুদ্রে 15-20 দিন, 1 মাসের জন্য যাচ্ছে, যারা মাছ ধরছে, তারাও তো ভেতরে চেম্বার করে তার ভেতর বরফ দিয়ে মাছ রাখে। আপনি গেলে বুঝতে পারবেন সেই মেকানিজমটা কি। কেননা সেই যে চেম্বারগুলো করা হয় তার ভেতরে, হ্যাঁ, তলায় ডেকের ভেতরে, ইনসাইড দ্য হাল, সেখানে চেম্বার করতে গিয়ে কি মেকানিজম ইউজ করছে, সেখানে থার্মোকল ইউজ হচ্ছে, দিয়ে তাকে ওই টেম্পারেচার কন্ট্রোল করা হচ্ছে, হয় অবশ্যই তখনও ছিল, আজও হয়।
শ্রীলঙ্কার বোটে যারা এই মাছ ধরতে যায় এরকম একদম ওই আপনি যেটা বললেন নিচের দিকে ওরা ই করে
ভেতরেই রাখে।
থার্মোকল কি সেই স্পিডেতে ছিল না?
না না, থার্মোকল তখন থাকার দরকার নেই, তখন তাহলে অন্য মেটেরিয়াল ছিল, সেইগুলোকে দিয়ে তারা করতো। এখন আমি
আপনি থার্মোকলের ওটাতে
হ্যাঁ।
ঠিক, আমি শ্রীলঙ্কার বোটটা দেখেছি সেই জন্য
হ্যাঁ।
বলছি, কিন্তু 200 ইয়ার, নিয়ারলি 150 ইয়ার্স ব্যাক,
150 years back, হ্যাঁ।
যখন আইস ইম্পোর্ট করা হয় তো সেই সময় তো এই জিনিসটা, এই প্রোডাক্টটা ছিল না।
না না, তখন অন্য কোনো ছিল, হ্যাঁ,
সেই ওয়েতে ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট থিং।
ভেরি ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট। আসলে সল্ট দিয়ে তার টেম্পারেচার কন্ট্রোল, হ্যাঁ
ইট হ্যাভ টু কমার্শিয়ালি ভায়াবল টু ব্রিং আইস।
একটা কথা আমি বলতে
হ্যাঁ।
চাইছি, বেঙ্গল বোট নিয়ে এত বলা হয়, বা আমাদের কেরালাতেও কিন্তু নানা রকম বোটটা তাদের আছে ভীষণ ভাবে,
হ্যাঁ
ওরা দুটো ট্রান্সপোর্ট
হ্যাঁ,
সিস্টেম।
আমি একটু বলি, অবশ্যই কেরালা ভীষণ ইম্পর্ট্যান্ট, কিন্তু জেমস হর্নেল 1946-এ যে বইটা লিখেছিল, ব্যাসিল গ্রিনহিল 1971-এ যেটা লিখেছিল, সে সব জায়গাতেই যদি স্বর্গ বলে কিছু থাকে, নৌকোর স্বর্গ, সেটা হলো বাংলাদেশ। কেরালা তার আশেপাশেও নেই। কারেন্ট আছে, হ্যাঁ। না না, দিয়ে দেখুন চলে কিনা। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ,
স্বরূপবাবু, স্বরূপবাবু, ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল গভর্নমেন্ট কিনেছিল, একটাও তো হাউস বোট চালাতে পারেনি। কেন চালাতে পারেনি? বিকজ কেরালার যে বোট গুলো আছে, যে লম্বা 30 মিটার, width is 5 meter,
হ্যাঁ,
right? 5 meters is okay in Kerala
ব্যাকওয়াটার্স, ইটস নট, হ্যাঁ।
বাট এই নদীতে আপনি ওই হাউস বোটটা দিন,
একদম।
একটা নৌকো যাবে, একটা লঞ্চ যাবে, ওখানে এমনি করে
এই
ঘুরতে
ঠিক,
শুরু করবে।
এইটাই
It's not
বলি,
possible.
আমাদের যে এত ভ্যারাইটি, 1 মিনিট দীপঙ্কর দা, 1 মিনিটে, ভীষণ ইম্পর্টেন্ট কথা এইটা, যে একটা বোট সেটা একটা নির্দিষ্ট এরিয়ার মধ্যেই চলে, সুতরাং একটা নৌকোকে বানানো হয় অন দ্য বেসিস অফ দ্য কারেন্ট অফ দ্য রিভার, দ্য ঢেউ অফ দ্য রিভার, উইন্ড ভেলোসিটি, ডেপথ অফ দ্য রিভার, সেইগুলোকে মাথায় রেখে একটা মিস্ত্রি, সে জানে 5 কিলোমিটার্স অর 10 কিলোমিটার্স রেডিয়াসে তার নৌকো চলতে পারে। সেই জন্য একজন বোট মেকার, যদি বলি কলকাতার কোনো বোট মেকারকে বলা হয় সুন্দরবনের একটা নৌকো বানিয়ে দিন, বানাবে না। একজন হাসনাবাদের মিস্ত্রির কাছে আপনি যদি যান, গিয়ে বলেন আমি আর একটি নৌকো বানিয়ে দিন, সে প্রথম প্রশ্ন করবে আপনার নৌকো কোথায় চলবে। আপনি বললেন যে আপনি রায়মঙ্গলে যাবেন, তখন বলবে ও রায়মঙ্গল, তাহলে তো 30 হাত হতেই হবে। মানে 30 হাত, কেননা সে বলে রায়মঙ্গল মানে বড় নদী, সেখানে 2.5খানা ঢেউকে মাথায় নিতে পারবে এই সাইজের একটা নৌকো হতে হবে, আর 2.5খানা ঢেউয়ের মাপ হচ্ছে 28 হাত। সেই 28 হাতের কম যদি হয়ে যায় নৌকো, তাহলে একটা ঢেউ ভেতরে ঢুকে পড়বে। ভেরি সায়েন্টিফিক, অবভিয়াসলি।
আপনি যে কথাটা বললেন রিগার্ডিং দ্য ফিশিং বোটস, এই ফিশিং বোটস এখন অব্দি ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলে ইটস অল উডেন। বাট জাস্ট গো আউটসাইড ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল, আপনি উড়িষ্যা যান, উড়িষ্যা থেকে জাস্ট গো রাইট অ্যারাউন্ড দ্য কোস্ট টু গুজরাট, সব আস্তে আস্তে ফাইবার গ্লাস হয়ে যাচ্ছে, সব ফাইবার গ্লাস হয়ে যাচ্ছে। অ্যান্ড এভরি 100 কিলোমিটার্স রাইট রাউন্ড দ্য কোস্ট আপনার বোটের সাইজ, ডাইমেনশন
সব চেঞ্জ হয়ে যায়, একদম।
ইট ডিপেন্ডস অন ওখানকার কিরম ওয়েভ,
Nature,
কিরম টাইম,
একদম।
এর উপরে।
একদম একদম, 1000 বছরের একটা ইভলিউশন। দীপঙ্কর দা, হ্যাঁ।
Then we can continue with the
Yeah, outside, yeah.
Actually, Swarup, I have a small curiosity that boat makers use use the cotton for waterproofing the every joint.
Yeah.
Why they choose cotton?
Yeah.
Please explain it.
That is available, that's why. Secondly, earlier days we also put the jute or hemp. We inserted those jute or hemps inside the planks. And you know that if you are putting those cottons inside those two planks in the gap, it means you are putting some air bubbles inside.
Actually, my curiosity is the cotton is very much
Water absorber. Yeah,
absorber.
yeah.
So why they
Yeah.
choose cotton?
Yeah, really, I do not know. But I think they used to put those air bubbles inside. And if you put in the outer side a lubricant and inside a lubricant, that means air bubbles will be intact in the middle. And air bubbles means it gives the pressure will be there. It cannot go outside. So it will prove the trapped. যেভাবে থার্মোফ্লক্স ইউজ হয় মাঝখানে একটা ট্র্যাপ করে দেওয়া হয় বাবল ঢুকিয়ে দিয়ে ন্যাচারাল
Insulator.
হ্যাঁ ইনসুলেটর একদম
And I think they have a coating of alcatra
হ্যাঁ
after all.
yeah but in earlier days we used to put those গাবের কষ yeah গাবকে স্ম্যাশ করে you can put it for 3 or 4 days. That kosh used to paint on the outer side and inner side. Also in the sail and net. That's why the color of the pal or the net was brown. Thank you so much.
My apologies to bring such an insightful discussion to a stop, but please let's continue outside over refreshment. A short vote of thanks. Thank you so much, sir, for being here today. And thank you all for also giving us your precious time here. And many thanks to everyone who made the event today possible.